Why social anxiety feels so real. Social anxiety doesn't feel like a simple fear. It doesn't feel imaginary. It doesn't feel like just overthinking. It feels real, painfully real. Your heart races before you even enter the room. Your chest tightens when someone looks at you. Your mind freezes when it's your turn to speak. And afterward, you replay everything you said, everything you did, and everything you think you did wrong. And the worst part? People who don't experience social anxiety often say things like, relax, no one cares. It's all in your head. But if it was really just in your head, it wouldn't feel this intense. So today, let's talk about why social anxiety feels so real, why your body reacts so strongly, and why your brain treats social situations like actual danger, even when nothing bad is happening. Social anxiety feels real because your brain believes it is real. Your brain is not designed to tell the difference between emotional danger and physical danger. To your nervous system, being judged, rejected, embarrassed, or excluded can feel just as threatening as being physically harmed. Thousands of years ago, humans survived in tribes. Being accepted by the group meant safety, food, and protection. Being rejected often meant isolation, and isolation meant death. So your brain learned something very important. Social acceptance equals survival. That survival wiring still exists today. When you walk into a social situation, your brain scans for threats. What if they judge me? What if I say something wrong? What if I embarrass myself? What if they don't like me? To your brain, these are not casual thoughts. They are threat signals. And once your brain senses a threat, it activates your fight or flight response. Your heart speeds up. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your muscles tense. Your hands shake. Your voice feels tight. Your mind goes blank. This is not weakness. This is biology. Your body is preparing to protect you. Another reason social anxiety feels so real is because it hijacks your attention. When anxiety activates, your brain enters survival mode. In survival mode, your brain stops focusing on logic and starts focusing on danger. You become hyper-aware of your facial expressions, your body language, your tone of voice, every word you say, every reaction from others. You notice small things that others don't. A pause in conversation, a neutral facial expression, someone checking their phone. And your anxious brain fills in the gaps with the worst interpretation possible. They think I'm boring. They notice how nervous I am. They regret talking to me. I sounded stupid. Even when there is no evidence. This constant self-monitoring makes social interactions exhausting. You're not just talking. You're performing, analyzing, and judging yourself in real time. That level of mental effort feels overwhelming, which makes anxiety feel even more intense. Social anxiety also feels real because it creates physical sensations. This is one of the most confusing parts. If anxiety were only thoughts, it might be easier to ignore. But anxiety shows up in the body. A tight throat, a shaky voice, sweaty palms, blushing dizziness, nausea, chest pressure. These sensations feel undeniable. Your brain then interprets these sensations as proof that something is wrong. I'm clearly anxious. They can see it. This is bad. I need to escape. This creates a loop. Anxiety causes physical symptoms. You notice the symptoms. You fear the symptoms. The fear increases anxiety. The symptoms intensify. The more you try to control it, the worse it feels. Another powerful reason social anxiety feels so real is past experiences. Your brain learns from experience, not reassurance. Maybe you were laughed at in school. Maybe you were criticized often. Maybe you were ignored when you spoke. Maybe you were punished for being yourself. Maybe you grew up in an environment where mistakes weren't safe. Your brain remembers emotional pain very well. So when you enter a social situation, your brain says, last time this hurt. Let's not let that happen again. Even if the situation is different, even if the people are different, even if you are different now, your brain doesn't update automatically. It protects first and asks questions later. That's why anxiety can appear before anything bad happens. Social anxiety feels real because your inner critic feels like your own voice. The thoughts don't sound foreign. They sound like you. You're awkward. You don't belong here. Everyone else knows what to say. You're embarrassing yourself. Because these thoughts feel familiar, you believe them. But these thoughts are not facts. They are protective predictions, your brain trying to prevent social pain. Unfortunately, the protection itself becomes a problem. Another reason social anxiety feels so intense is because avoidance strengthens it. Every time you avoid a social situation, your brain learns, avoidance kept me safe. So next time, the anxiety grows stronger, not because you're getting worse, but because your brain is doing its job too well. Avoidance teaches your brain that social situations are dangerous, even when they aren't. This makes anxiety feel permanent, uncontrollable, and deeply real. Social anxiety also feels real because it affects your identity. It's not just, I feel anxious. It becomes, I am awkward. I am bad socially. I am not like others. When anxiety attaches itself to your identity, it feels impossible to escape. But social anxiety is not who you are. It is a pattern your nervous system learned. And learned patterns can be unlearned. One of the most painful parts of social anxiety is the loneliness. You want connection. You want to be seen. You want to speak freely. But anxiety stands in the way. This creates a silent conflict inside you, a deep desire for connection, and a powerful fear of being judged. That conflict drains you emotionally. And because others don't see the internal struggle, they assume you're quiet, distant, or uninterested, which makes you feel even more misunderstood. Here's something important to understand. Social anxiety feels real because it is real. The fear is real. The sensations are real. The distress is real. But the danger your brain predicts is often exaggerated. Your brain is not broken. It's overprotective. And overprotective systems can be gently retrained. Recovery doesn't mean forcing confidence. It doesn't mean becoming loud. It doesn't mean just stop caring. It means teaching your nervous system that social situations are safe enough. It means allowing anxiety to exist without fighting it. It means staying present even when discomfort arises. It means slowly proving to your brain that you can survive social moments without escaping. And most importantly, it means treating yourself with compassion instead of criticism. If you experience social anxiety, you are not weak. You are not strange. You are not failing at life. You are responding to perceived threat with a nervous system designed to protect you. And with understanding, patience, and practice, that system can change. Social anxiety feels real, but it does not define you. It does not control your future. And it does not mean something is wrong with you. It simply means your brain learned to fear something that can be relearned as safe. And that journey begins with understanding, not judgment.